Hello everybody and thanks for joining me. Today I'm tying another North Country spider pattern called the oak fly. My hook is a partridge spider hook. This is a size 12 to demonstrate, but you can tie these all the way down to 18. And my silk is yellow. The brand which a few people asked for is Auvert à Soie, and I get it from Lathkills or 54 Dean Street. For the rib, some black horsehair, and working up towards the thorax, a small pinch of yellow dubbing. I'm using one called Welsh Gold from Vicuña Dubbing. The hackle is going to be some dark partridge neck from my slightly tied partridge skin. As an aside, if you replace this with woodcock, it becomes a pattern known as the downlooker. So let's get started. I'm going to cast on my thread just behind the hook eye and make a few tight turns to secure. I've already waxed the first several inches of this silk, so it's got loads and loads of grip, and 3 wraps is plenty. I'm going to snip away the excess, and I prefer to remove that tag end earlier rather than later if I'm going to be adding a rib, else the body can get a little bit too bulky. I've made 2 loose turns over my horsehair, drawn it through to length, and then working backwards in nice tight touching turns, we'll secure that along the length of the hook shank, stopping at a point roughly between the barb and the point of the hook. You can see I'm letting the thread hang there. I reckon I can get one more loop in, and then reversing direction is going to work back up towards the eye of the hook, again making nice touching turns and laying down a beautiful yellow thread base. These silks have got such wonderful colours, really beautiful material to work with. I'm stopping slightly behind the hook eye, and now we can wrap our rib. I'm going to make even turns forwards and build up a nice little bit of segmentation. This is a fairly early spider pattern as far as I can tell. Certainly it was already widespread when Turton wrote the Angler's Manual, and that was in 1836. So it's a pattern that's lasted the test of time. Once I've finished wrapping my rib, I'm going to make 2 tight turns over with my silk and secure that down. 2 turns is plenty. Like I said, this is well waxed and it's got loads and loads of grip. A lot of the technique for tying spiders is about economising with the number of thread wraps you make. They're such skinny flies that even just a few extra wraps can add a lot of extra bulk where it's not wanted. I've prepared my feather by grasping it by the tip, drawing down the hackle barbs, and now I'm going to tie that in pointing forwards. Of course, since it's pointing forwards, I want the dish shape of the feather towards myself, so that when I double it back in order to wrap it, the natural curve of the feather is pointing towards the rear of the fly. 3 tight turns to secure and strip away the excess. Now taking a very small pinch, and I mean a very small pinch of my Vicuña dubbing. You could use yellow hare's ear or anything that's yellow and a little bit shaggy here. I'm going to build up a tiny little thorax, bend that feather back, and make a couple of turns in front to prop it in position. And you can see that that's now in its natural position, pointing towards the rear of the fly, so that as we come in with our hackle pliers, draw the fibres back and wrap them around the hook, the feather barbs are pointing all the way towards the tail of the fly in that nice umbrella-shaped hackle that we aim for with these spider patterns. These are very fragile feathers, so do be careful with them. Don't use too much pressure, just make the minimum number of wraps that you can get away with. Here, I'm actually happy with 1 wrap's worth of barbs. I'm feeling a light version today. You could do 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5. I probably wouldn't go any denser than that though, because a lot of the attraction for these patterns is the mobility that those hackles give in the water. These soft game bird and wild bird feathers really give a load of movement in the water, and that can really draw the fish. A 3-turn whip finish, and then we can snip away our silk. Notice that I don't actually snip away so much as push the scissors into the silk. If you keep it under tension, it'll cut away very cleanly. Now, drawing the excess feather forwards, I'm going to carefully snip the stem, and that takes the excess barbs with it. You can see that that's created a nice fan-shaped hackle. I'm going to add a small drop of varnish to the knot to help secure it, clear out the eye, and that's the fly finished. Here's a look around. So you can see we've got that fairly sparse but very mobile, supple hackle. Just that nice umbrella pointing towards the rear of the fly. Some pronounced segmentation, and that little shaggy thorax. Do give this one a go. Absolute vintage pattern, but still working well. Thanks for watching.